Welcome to Super Simple Security Principles, where you learn how to think about online security, not just which apps to install. I'm Nick Jackson, here to learn along with you from my good buddy and master guardian, Makani Mason. Woo! All right, this is episode 94. Oh my gosh, 94. And 94, we're going to be rocking how to pick an email provider, right? Don't just instantly run to Google. Let's find you the right email provider, okay?
Yeah.
So what do you think? Where are we going to start, man? We got to pick a
Well,
new email provider?
that's going to be the argument I'm going to make, right? Like,
All right.
obviously, as you pointed out, most people use Google, and I'm not sure the exact percentages these days, but it's very high. But I think where I want to start is just reminding why we're talking about this a little bit. We talked a little bit last week about email provider versus client, and so now we're going to talk about picking one. And the episodes before that, we talked about the different priorities in the email workshop.
Yeah.
And that's very much related to email provider, because the email provider you pick dictates, to a large degree anyway, the email experience you have.
Yeah.
An email, as you know, it's just a huge part of our daily digital life. And as we've talked about many times, email system is deeply flawed. And so, right, yeah, exactly. I mean, we've talked just endlessly about that, right? And so, from my perspective, if we're going to try to deal with that the best we can, we want to have the best email provider, right? We've got a lousy system, but at least we can compensate for that a little bit with the best email provider.
Right. Yeah.
But most people only have experience with Gmail or maybe Yahoo, maybe some of the other free ones, Microsoft, Apple. But unlike a lot of other things, right?
I
You
have
have
those
those three?
three:
Yeah, right. As
Yahoo,
do,
Gmail, and Microsoft.
yeah, exactly, because they're free, right?
Yep.
And that's just been a lot of the culture, and there's been some good that's come from that, but there's been some bad things too. But because we have all these free options, people really in general haven't shopped around other than maybe amongst the free ones.
Right.
And so my favorite provider, most people never even heard of, Fastmail, right? We've obviously talked about. So they can't compare. They don't even know that there's significant differences that exist, right? So it's one of those things, they don't know what they don't know.
Right.
And so why would you even bother looking, right? Not only that, but testing takes time. If you change, it's not just like a new app. You have to tell everyone your new email address. Even if I tell you about the differences, or like you have this, you got to explore them and learn them. And then to top all that off, the idea of paying for email is so crazy culturally that most people just are like, oh, but you even mentioned paid email, and they're just like, no, not a chance. Because that's
Isn't
just
it
what people
funny?
are used to.
There's the free ones that everybody flocks to, and they got all these flaws. Like, run to Gmail, you're going to get spammed like crazy. Like, you got all these flaws, and it's like, man, maybe spending a few extra bucks a month so you don't get threatening emails might be worth it.
Yeah, that is, I know it's not for everybody. Not everybody can pay, but for most people these days, I think, at least amongst our listeners, I think, yeah, I agree with you. And I think slowly, maybe it's just uh, maybe it's hopeful, wishful thinking, but it feels like the more and more privacy and security issues and things come up in the news, that maybe the idea of paying for a quality service, if they know about it, right? Maybe that is going to become more and more acceptable. That's kind of my hope, and I'm trying obviously to throw my
hat in the ring.
Yeah, hat in the ring. Thank you. That's what I was. Yes, exactly. That's what I was trying to think of. Yep. So obviously, my campaign is primarily for Fastmail, and and against Gmail, right? Mostly because Gmail's the biggest, and it's the one like I have used and still use actually, not through because I really want to, but I have a lot of email accounts for work, different organizations. I have a lot of things going on with email. I'm a software developer, a content creator. I have a lot more email accounts and digital activity than your average person, but Gmail and Fastmail are the ones that I have a lot of experience with. So we'll sprinkle in some others because I do have a Yahoo, I have a Proton, I have a Tuda, I have a Microsoft, but those are going to be the focus for Fastmail and against Gmail. But at the end of the day, I'm going to try to make it so any option that you can consider, you can apply these same things and look for the same thing, the features and things we talk about. Because even more, like even if you're listening to this and you don't decide you want Fastmail and you stick with Gmail, even I just want it to be a more informed, more intentional decision at the very least. That's if that makes sense.
Yeah, makes total sense.
So the next episodes we're going to do coming up, I want to set the stage for those just a little bit, is we're going to be talking about some reasons why to consider when you're picking an email provider. And again, they'll mostly kind of be, highlighting reasons why Fastmail is better, and Gmail and the free ones I don't like as much. So we're going to break it down and kind of take turns. So because I have two big categories of reasons or considerations that I think of in terms of micro considerations and macro considerations. Another way to call that might be everyday. Those are micro, and big picture are more the macro, short term, long term, that kind of idea.
Gotcha.
So for the micro ones, it'd be just little specific features like, does it support tags or does it support folders? Does it have a report phishing button or only a report spam button? And then in their settings, what are all the different little settings that they have to customize how spam is filtered?
Yeah.
Things like that. And then for the macro considerations, it's going to be things like the free or paid question. Why do I care so much about that? And if it's free, then how do they make money? Is it an email service only, or is it a whole suite of services like Gmail is and like Proton? And a lot of them are.
Yeah.
How much do they respect your privacy? How's their customer support? Are they working on improving their email service? Are they working on improving the email ecosystem as a whole, outside of even just the service they provide? These kind of things.
Right.
So, well, I'm going to try to go like a micro consideration, one episode, and then a macro one and a micro one, because I know some will appeal to some people and others to other people, and both of them are pretty important to me. There's a lot of little ones and a lot of big ones, so that's what we're going to do next.
Awesome.
But my summary is that I think for most people who listen to me, that Fastmail is a better choice than Gmail. I'm definitely campaigning for Fastmail in general, just to be upfront about it.
Right.
But like I said, even more than that is I care that you understand things and are picking intentionally.
Yeah.
So, how about you? What are any?
I got two takeaways. I got two thoughts. One's completely random, but and I'm going to start with the completely random one. Why isn't it that these email companies and email providers I mean, clearly they've got to have some indication of all this spam crap that's going out. Why don't
Right.
they fight back? Why don't they scam the scammers? Like, they got the technology, fight back. And it brings me to my next point. They're
Yeah.
not going to fight back because in the old days, if you got something free, it was a free piece of crap. And that's what they're providing is here's a free email service. It's not going to be great. It is what it is. It's popular, so everybody uses it, but it's a free glorified piece of junk. So, yeah, at the end of the day, Google, I'm calling you out. Go do something. Try and fight spam for a change.
Yeah. No, that is a beautiful thought, Nick, because I think about the resources that Google has, and it seems patently obvious almost to me that if they really wanted to solve the spam problem, they could be doing way more than they are. I think about
Yeah.
if Fastmail had the resources that Google had, the customer base, it blows
Can you
my mind to
imagine?
think of, yeah, exactly. And just kind of thinking about it in terms of that, to me, paints a pretty clear picture of that's just not their business. They're not in the email business. Their
Right.
email is just a way to get customers into their real business, which is mostly serving ads and stuff. Like they're in the
Right.
advertising
Serving
business.
ads. Yeah.
And so it's just a means to an end. And so that, anyway, that's a great thought.
Awesome.
Painful thought, but insightful thought.
Right?
I don't know, great, but insightful thought. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. That was a good one.
Yeah. Are you ready to take action and wondering where to start? Get my Bulletproof My Identity Starter Kit for free. The 7 most vital layers of protection everyone needs. I'll send you one step at a time and help you if you get stuck. Just go to bulletproofmyid.com and enter your name and email, and I will send you the first step. Again, that's bulletproofmyid.com.